Take one final deep breath in and down dog. Exhale to empty out completely. Once you are empty, jump or walk your feet back to the top of your mat. Inhale to extend, and exhale to fold. Root down, rise up, and sweep the arms overhead. Take your inhale here. And exhale. This time we're going to bring our hands to the base of the, to the back of the pelvis rather. Your fingers are going to point down towards your sit bones. Your elbows will be drawing in toward each other. Root down through your feet. Take an inhale to lift your heart. And exhale, start to move your pelvis forward. As the pelvis moves forward, engage your glutes, engage your hamstrings, and engage your erector spinae. Pull those the back body, your back muscles toward your spine. Then you're going to reach back and make sure that you feel those muscles engaging if you're not sure. Knit your back ribs toward each other each time you take an exhale. And on your next inhale, puff up your rib cage toward the side. The front of your ribs are rising toward the side. And one more time, exhale, hug your spine. Draw the crown of your head further back. Inhale, slowly rise up. Sweep the arms overhead. And exhale, we're going to bring the hands down just to your thighs. Tuck your tailbone and round your back. Again, inhale, extend your spine. Good, exhale, round your back, bring your chin in. Inhale, extend your spine. Exhale to round your back. Good, with your back rounded, you're going to hold here. Abdominals are strong. Chin comes in toward the soft part of your throat. So we're even lengthening out our neck here. Good, take one more deep breath in, puff up the back of your body. And as you exhale, lay your ribs onto your thighs and pour your torso forward. Shake any tension out of your neck, head, and shoulders. Take another inhale. We're going to move into an extended spine again. You may need to bend your knees, right? We want to make sure our back is extending. Our erector spinae, our extensors are lengthening out the spine for us. You're going to plant your palms. Walk back or jog back to your high push-up. Hold in high push-up. Just like we did before, make sure that your abs and your quads are strong. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, this time lower all the way down onto your belly. All the way down onto your belly. Once you are on your belly, take an inhale. Lift your rib cage up for Bhujangasana or low cobra. As you exhale, lower the ribs down and let your legs rise. Inhale, lift the ribs, open the chest. Exhale, lower your ribs and lift your legs. One more time, inhale, let the heart rise. And exhale, lower everything down to the floor now. Push up on your inhale to hands and knees. Extend the spine here again. And exhale, press it slowly back to downward facing dog. And take 5 breaths here in down dog. Really taking your time with that strong, long inhale. Puff up your back body as you inhale. As you exhale, for right now in down dog, you're exhaling from the front of your body, particularly hollowing out the lower abdominals and engaging your ribs so that your front ribs are knitting in toward the front of your spine. Take a final exhale here in down dog. Once you are empty, stay empty. Jump your feet forward or walk forward. Take an inhale, extend the spine again. Bend the knees if you need to. Exhale, fold. Abs are strong. Root down through your feet. Rise up again. Sweep the arms overhead here. Taking that back bend. And exhale. We're going to bring our hands back. This time, clasp your hands, interlace your fingers, and draw your knuckles down. Or if that's too much on your neck or shoulders to clasp, just keep your hands reaching independently of each other down. Engage the backs of your arms, engage your triceps. Take an inhale to lift the heart. And as you exhale, start to reach back. So if you are clasping, whether you're clasping or not, we're not sinking into our back here. We're not letting the legs just move forward. This is all really muscular. Inhale, let the heart rise. Exhale, draw the shoulder blades down your back. Engage your glutes. Move the pelvis forward. Engage your hamstrings. Move your thigh bones forward. Engage your triceps. And that'll help you find the muscles that support your spine even more. Hug your spine with your spinal muscles. Now everybody root down a little more through your heels. And on your next inhale, stand up, move into your extended spine here, and then bend the knees quite a bit. And as you exhale, place your ribs onto your thighs, draw the knuckles up toward the sky, relax your head. Again, if this is too much on your neck or your shoulders, arms are just gonna reach independently of each other. Just make sure your triceps are still firing. Neck is relaxed. Huge inhale into those muscles that we just worked, pretty dramatically, right? So breathe into the back of your ribs, breathe below your ribs and into the back of the pelvis as well. Take one final huge inhale here, all the way up to the fronts of your shoulders. Exhale, release both hands to the ground. Inhale, extend the spine. Plant your palms, jump back or walk back, high plank. Exhale, lower, this time to chaturanga. Inhale into up dog. And exhale, press it back to downward facing dog. Taking 5 more breaths right here. Breathing as deeply as you possibly can into that stretch. Now take one final exhale and down dog. Instead of jumping forward though, we're going to lift your right leg up and reach it back toward the top of the wall behind you. Hold here and breathe here. Draw a little length here. And now bend your right knee. We're going to do this without sitting in our left hip, okay? So I want to show you the front view of this. So if that right knee is bent and we just roll into our left hip, then the left heel will also turn out, or you'll be rolling onto the outer side of your right foot. So this is not where we want to be right here, right? Right, you can see that. Okay, instead of that, root down through the inner heel of your left foot, hug your left inner thigh to midline, pull your way out of this left hip here, and then open your right hip even more, okay? So make sure you have a really nice view of your left foot here. Make sure the inner edge of your left foot is firmly on the ground. Hug in with your left inner thigh, and now open your right knee even further so that your right knee starts to point toward the ceiling here. Feel this stretch on the right hip flexor, right quadriceps. Take one more exhale to engage your right glutes and your right hamstrings. One more inhale here. Lengthening that right leg out, all the way up. And exhale, right foot down next to your left foot. Take an inhale here, extending your spine. And exhale, dive a bit deeper. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Same thing here. Bend your left knee. Open up your left hip without sinking into your right hip, without torquing your spine, and without compromising your right outer ankle. So this is not where you want to be right here. Okay, instead, pull your weight into the center line of your body. Root down through inner edge of right foot. Hug in with right inner thigh. Pull out of your right hip. Then rotate open to the left. Engage your left hamstrings. Engage your left glutes. Feel the stretch on your left quadriceps, the front of your left thigh, and the front of your left hip. Take an inhale. Keep your right inner thigh hugging in. Make sure you're not sinking into your right shoulder either. Exhale to wring out even more. Inhale, extend your left leg up to the sky, even higher. Pull your weight back with the strength of your left leg. And then bring your left foot down to meet your right foot. And move into an even deeper down dog. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, bring your knees to the ground. Inhale to extend your spine. And exhale to round your back. 2 more like that. Inhale, extend. And exhale to round. And one more time, take that inhalation, make sure you are massaging your spine with every round that you take. This time, round your back, go ahead and keep the abdominals drawing in and up. From there, you're gonna bring your left arm and your right leg forward and back. Fingers forward, toes back. Pull yourself apart in 2 equal and opposite directions. Again, we're not gonna sink out into this hip, right? If when the arm comes up, make sure that doesn't sink you out over here, okay? Okay, pull yourself apart. Now, taking an inhale, remember that left inner thigh is gonna stay strong. Reach around with your left foot to take a hold of the inner edge of your reach around with your left hand. This is a hand. To take a hold of your right foot. And for me, I actually don't like holding on to my foot because I actually feel it more if I'm not. So reach your fingers back so you still get that chest opener, but work on these hamstrings holding the leg up instead of your arm, okay? Your right hamstrings are firing. Your right glutes are firing. Your right shin is, your right calf muscles are firing, and you're kind of flexing your foot and pushing your foot isometrically toward the sky as well. Taking one more inhale here. You can take a hold of that foot if you'd like, but please make sure that those muscle groups are still working. And then release, bring the left hand down and open to the right. Keep your right leg up. Bend your right knee now and take a hold of the top of your right foot with your right hand. Or once again, just point your fingers at your toes and kick back isometrically. You'll feel your hamstrings maybe more than you do when you're holding onto your foot. Meanwhile, your left foot may come underneath you a little more, or you may want to step it back behind your left knee. Kick that right foot back. If you're holding onto the foot, you'll be able to do more of a chest opener because your leg will help make that happen. But you can still do that without holding onto your foot. You just have to pay more attention. Please take one more inhale, open out of that left shoulder. Lift your left rib cage further away from the ground and release. Bring your right hand down and your right knee down. Inhale to extend and exhale to round. Again, inhale, extend the spine. Exhale to round your back. One more time, take that long inhalation and a strong exhale. And this time, bring your right arm and left leg off the floor. Reach your right arm forward, reach your left leg back, pull yourself apart into equal and opposite directions here. As you reach apart, remember that our intention here is to get our spinal muscles, the muscle fibers closest to your spine, to work for you here. That's why we're kind of throwing ourselves off balance on purpose. Now bend that left knee, reach around and take a hold of your left foot with your right hand. Kick your foot back. You may want to twist open. I'm going to have you not take a twist today. And instead, close off that left hip bone down toward the ground and keep working your weight out of the right hip. You're going to want to sink to the right. It's going to keep happening, right? And you're going to keep drawing yourself back to center with that right inner thigh anyway. Okay, keep it going. Remember, you don't have to hold on to that back foot. Just kick back isometrically. Take one final inhale here. And exhale, right hand down. Open to the left. Reach around and take a hold of your left foot with your left hand now. Good. Hugging your spine with your spinal muscles. Drawing your ribs closer in each time you take your exhale. Back ribs. Shoulder blades draw down the back as you exhale. You don't have to hold on to your foot. Kick back isometrically. Every once in a while, just check and make sure those left quads are really being supported by your hamstring engagement, right? Back of your leg needs a little coaxing. Your hamstrings need some reminders. Glutes are also active here. Take one final inhale in this position. One more exhale to hug your spine. Engage your right glutes. Tuck your right glutes underneath your left. Engage your left glutes and your left hamstrings. And then release left hand and left knee down to the floor. Inhale, extend your spine. Exhale, round your back. Inhale, spinal extension. Exhale to round. Please give yourself the opportunity to engage your inner and lower abs. One more time. Inhale, stretch out your abs. Exhale to re-engage. Come back up onto the pads of your toes and press it back to your downward facing dog. Slow the breath down here. Make sure you do feel your body breathing. Your back ribs, especially when we go to down dog, you're going to want to focus on breathing to back body so that we can use our breath to stretch out our back muscles. We're getting quite a workout today. Take a stronger, longer exhale here. On your next inhale, let's lift the right leg up again. Inhale that right leg up. This time, exhale, bring your knee towards your forehead and your forehead towards your right knee. Do that much again. Inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, forehead to knee, knee to forehead. Once again, inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, bring it in. Now step your right foot through your hands. Draw your left knee down to the ground and bring your hands up to your right thigh. Good. Make sure you're not, okay, we're gonna start on the kneecap so you can feel the difference. So I'm going to recommend you take your yoga mat and just fold it into the center one edge, right, the left edge, because we want it underneath the left knee. So let's start with that. And if you have a manduka, you may not need to. It doesn't want to stay there. Okay. So we're on our kneecap to begin with, right? And you can feel how right now there's not really a stretch going on. So this is kind of a waste of time. So we're going to go forward, off of the kneecap, and you'll feel yourself roll off of the kneecap onto the muscle right above the knee. Please stay there. Yes, my right knee is protruding past my toes. It does that. It's totally fine. Just don't put all your weight into your right knee, okay? Our weight is being borne by this leg because it's supporting us downward, right? So now that you are off of the kneecap, now go ahead and square this left hip bone down toward the floor and push your hands, both of them, into your right thigh. So all the weight of your body is moving away from your right knee toward the back. This is another spinal extension here. Open the chest. Make sure you're not back on your knee though, right? Keep the hips forward. Keep the left hip bone pointing forward. Now as the whole pelvis is descending off of the kneecap, the rib cage is lifting. The elbows draw back. If you would like to, you can take your hands off of your thigh here. Move your weight further forward. Get off of the kneecap and onto the muscle fibers above the knee. And now engage those hamstrings again. Left hamstrings, left glutes engaging. Reach back with the crown of your head. You're in a back bend here. Stretching out your left hip flexors and your quadriceps. If you feel like you're grinding your kneecap into the ground, that's what you're doing. That's why it feels that way. Please don't keep doing that. Okay, come take one more deep breath in. How do you get out of that? Go further forward. Further forward first, and then start to lean back without pulling the pelvis back with you. One last huge inhale here. If you're getting nauseated, exhale through your mouth a few times. And then slowly come back up. We're going to straighten out this right leg. Bring your left shin down to the ground, so we're off of the kneecap again. Push down with your left shin. And drape your body over your right leg. We are engaging our right quads here. We're stretching our right hamstrings. Pull your right toes back towards your crown. And draw your forehead toward your right shin. Please breathe. This is when we expand into your back body again. Ribs expanding upward. This is when we take on an exhale a very strong inner core, lower core engagement around the front of your spine. One final exhale here. Good, and then come back into this pose. Coming back into a lunge position. Now you're going to walk your right foot all the way off of the right side of your mat. Turn your right toes out at a 90-degree angle and start here. We're on our left kneecap again with that extra padding underneath the left kneecap. You're gonna take your right hand inside your right knee and open it up a little more. That's it, that's all we're doing. Just push the knee, especially if the knee is kind of caving in. You're just gonna coax it open, not forcing anything. Take an inhale and open the chest. As you exhale, take your left hand to your left hamstrings and move the left thigh bone forward. Keep the right knee opening up, bend your left elbow, move your left thigh bone forward. Use your hand to help you. Move your left glutes forward, engage your left glutes. Move the pelvis forward. Keep the hamstring moving your thigh bone forward. This is a really nice stretch on the left hip flexors again. And of course, we're working through that inner hip on the right knee, right leg rather. Take a huge inhale here. Exhale, engage left glutes, engage left hamstrings. Move further back into this back bend, and then very slowly come out of that and move it forward. We're gonna bring both hands down. Slide the left hip bone down onto the ground. Keep your right foot rooting down, and I'm gonna change the view on this. Right foot stays where we've already placed it. All right. And the right knee will stay bent, but we're gonna bring this right hip as close to being on the floor as possible. All right, and I've been doing this for like 3 days straight. So my hip flexor is actually getting mighty close to touching the floor. All right, you may not get there today. You may be up here a little higher. You may want to stay on the pads of your toes. Okay, but eventually we're going to get that left hip bone to actually come very close to the floor. Left thigh bone on the ground. Engage left hamstrings, engage left glutes. Right knee, you can keep your right hand where we had it last time. Push the right knee very gently, not forcing. Right toes turn out at that 90-degree angle. Good, and if you want to go further, you can bend your left knee and bring your left heel slowly toward your left glutes. If this is too much, keep your toes on the ground. 2 more breaths. That right knee is going to want to come down. Keep it open. The left hip is going to want to open up. Keep it pointing down. Left hip points down. Left glutes active. Left hamstrings active. And then slowly bring your hands back onto the floor. Keep the right leg where it is. Stand up onto the pads of your left toes. And we're just going to swivel around so that we're kind of just hanging out between the legs here. Crown down toward the ground. Breathe into your back body. Let your back muscles breathe here. Let every exhalation engage your core. Notice my feet are off of the mat. That's okay. Sometimes our feet are off of our yoga mat, and it's really okay. I started doing yoga when there were no yoga mats. That's how long ago it has been. There used to be no yoga mats. And then there were these really gross things that crumbled up in about a week. They were green. Yeah, so it's been this Manduka is awesome, but we don't really need it, right? Because we have our core to support us. So even if your floor is slippery, root downward through your feet. Take one final exhale here. Diving deeper. And then slowly come back so that your palms are coming back to the top of your mat. Step your right foot back. Bring your left foot in. And move right into your downward facing dog. Reconnect to your core strength. Your feet can be wider than your hips here. It totally doesn't matter, whatever feels good to you. Take an inhale to lift your left leg up now. Exhale, bring your knee toward your forehead and your forehead towards your knee. Inhale, lift the left leg up again. Exhale, bring knee to forehead, forehead to knee. One more time, lift and lengthen. Exhale, slowly bring it in. Step your left foot through. Slide your right toes back and bring your right knee to the ground. You may want to fold the right side, right edge of your mat in so that you have that extra padding underneath your right knee. Walk your weight forward so that you're off of your knee. So again, we can start up here so you can feel the difference. You're on your kneecap here. And then we're gonna let the body weight move forward, let the pelvis descend. Right hip bone is getting closer to the ground. Come off of the kneecap, you'll feel that shift. Stay there, this is the part that's hard because now we're gonna come back up, but we're not gonna lift the pelvis up with us. Keep the knee down, hands come to your thighs, and lift the heart. And then draw the shoulders down. You can even bring your arms just alongside your torso here. Keep your breathing going. Your right hip is gonna wanna open up. Keep squaring it off by hugging both inner thighs more to midline. Right, keep the breath happening, keep hugging in with the inner thighs, rooting down to the inner edge of your left foot. Engage your right hamstrings, engage your right glutes, move your pelvis even further forward here. Breathing as deeply as you can while you are here. Send your inhale into the front of your right thigh and all the way up into the front of your right hip. It's gonna wanna open, keep closing it off. I hope you guys are feeling this. If you're getting a little nauseated again, exhale through the mouth. It really does help, I'm telling you. Take one final inhale, see if you can lean any further back. Make this a back bend. Good, and then release very slowly. Sit back towards your right heel. We're not gonna sit down on the right heel. We're gonna keep the pelvis up. Okay, but we are going to press down onto the right shin and really push your right shin into the floor. Flex your left foot. Draw that left sit bone back. Keep hugging into midline and bring your forehead closer to your left shin. Abs are strong here, everybody. This is a forward fold. We want to make sure that our back muscles are stretching here and our left hamstrings are stretching. All right, so your left quads are engaging. Please slow down your breath. Keep pushing down with your right shin. The more you push down with your right shin, the more you'll feel your lower abdominals working. Try it. Push, really push down, not kind of, right, but really push the shin into the floor. Hug both inner thighs to midline, and you'll feel that lower abdomen tone. One final exhale here. Good, and then come back up to where we started, back onto that kneecap. Walk your left foot over to the left. Knee is in line with the hip. Left toes turn out in a 90-degree angle. Good. And you're gonna take your left hand very easily in the left inside of the left knee. I'm not pushing and forcing. I'm gonna keep the foot grounded. Just gonna remind the knee not to go any further than where it already is. I'm not gonna let it cave in other words, right? So not forcing the knee open, but just keeping it open. And then you're going to bring your right hand to right hamstrings. Lift the heart here. Tell your right hamstrings to move your right thigh bone forward. And immediately, at least for me, I start to feel that in the upper hip, right, the front of the right hip. So breathe into that. Take a huge inhale into that initial stretch. Exhale, go further. Bend your right elbow. Keep the left knee opening. This is a stretch for your right inner groin, inner thigh, left inner groin, inner thigh. And of course, right hip flexor, right quads. Engage right glutes, engage right hamstrings. Move this into a nice, beautiful back bend. Keep pushing down with your right shin, everybody. This will increase the stretch on your right quads. Keep pushing that right thigh bone forward. Use your right hand to remind your hamstrings to work. Take one final inhale, lift your heart up. And exhale, very slowly come out of that. Phew, great job, you guys. Keep this foot where it is. And now left foot where it is. And now we're gonna lie all the way down onto our right thigh bone. You might need to bring this left foot a little further forward as they come down, right? Come onto your forearms. Keep the left toes turning out in a 90-degree angle. Both forearms are on the floor if you can get them there. And then again, we're gonna keep this left hand inside left knee. Huge inhale here. Exhale, square off your right hip. Engage your right glutes. Engage your right hamstrings. And bring your right thigh bone even closer to the ground. Begin to bring your right heel off the floor if you're not on your kneecap. Okay, otherwise, it is definitely not worth it. There's this negotiation going on between this knee and this knee. The more I lift this knee, the more this one caves in, right? So, I'm just gonna keep my toes on the floor today. Keep this stretch happening. And keep our the right hip bone pointing down. You can also stand up onto the right toes. That's easier to find the gluteal engagement when you do that. We're here for 2 more breaths. One final inhale here. And exhale, right knee down. Come onto the palms. Straighten out both legs. And both feet are off of the mat here. Dive in. Your crown is moving toward the ground here. And your hips, and your lower belly is rounded. Is hollowed out, I should say. Lower belly is concave. Draw navel in and up. And the crown eventually will touch the floor. Take one more exhale here. Abs are strong. Then bring your hands back to the front of your mat. Step your left foot in, step your right foot in. Move back into your downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and down dog. And exhale, dive even further back. Inhale, bring your right leg back up to the sky. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. Inhale, right leg rises to the sky again. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. One more time, lift the right leg up. Exhale, bring that knee in. Now step your foot through your hands. Keep your back heel off the floor. Sweep the arms over your head and come up into a lunge. And this is where I'm actually going to have you grab that chair. So I don't want to feel like we have to strain here, right? So place your chair right in front of your right foot. And bring your hands to the chair. And if you don't have a chair, you can just know about this for next time. Because you're going to bend your left knee, contract your left glutes. If you're not using your chair, your arms are up, right? If you are going to use the chair, it's just for stability. This can be a little unwieldy. You're going to draw that right sit bone back again. Both inner thighs are going to hug into midline. Your left glutes are active. And of course, I know I sound like a broken record, your left hamstrings are also working here. Keep hugging both inner thighs to midline. Keep thinking about having a block between your inner thighs and you're just squeezing in. Dial the right sit bone back. Dial the left hip bone forward. Breathe. Bring your arms up if you would like to. Take one more deep breath in here. In our lunge, make sure you're not sinking into that lower knee. Left glutes, left hamstrings working to move left thigh bone forward. Now straighten out your left leg. Slide your right foot forward a little more. Again, if you're holding onto your chair, bring your hands to the chair, the back of the chair, but keep pushing back through that left leg. Now notice how you can see my left hip is back further than my right. Got to get those inner thighs working again. So you're going to hug both inner thighs to midline and dial it back around. Okay, so not here. Inner thighs, dial the pelvis around. Good. If you would like to, both arms come up. Take one more beautiful inhale here. Good, exhale, both hands back to the ground or to the chair. So let's say we're kind of done with our down dog on the floor, our wrists are kind of hurting. This is great too. Or you want to take more of a down dog, your hands are going to come to the seat of that chair. Do not recommend doing the next one from the chair. So leaving the chair where it is, we're going to bring both hands down to the ground to lift the into down dog, and then we'll lift the left leg up. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. Inhale, lift the left leg up. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. And one last time, leg up. And leg in. Hold there for a moment. Bring your left foot through your hands. Keep your back heel off the floor. You can bring your hands right up onto the chair if you'd like. Or root down to your left foot. Reach the arms up. Bend your right. You may want to step your right foot in a little closer. Bend your right knee. Contract right glutes. Contract right hamstrings. Engage both inner thighs, dial left sit bone back. Right hip bone forward. If you do get tired or you just want to have some stability, hands can come to the back of the chair at any time. Please make sure you're breathing. And make sure that the inhale is moving toward the stretch there. The exhale is reminding your back muscles, your glutes, your hamstrings to fire. One more inhale here. Exhale, straighten out your back leg. Come to the outer edge of your right foot. We're not in a warrior two. So make sure that your feet are not lined up with each other here. Your right heel lines up with your right sit bone. Okay? We're not walking a tightrope. And we're not practicing to walk a tightrope, most of us. Anyway. So, right heel lines up with right sit bone. Now inner thighs engage. Square off the hips a little bit more. Please breathe. Feel the stretch on that right thigh again, the front of your right thigh. Take one final inhale here. And exhale, both hands back to the chair. Step the left foot back. You could decide to bring your hands, onto the seat of the chair, or bring it all the way down to downward facing dog. Strong, long exhales here. Take one more exhale in this position. And now we're going to come onto the hands and the knees again. Move the chair out of the way. Extend your spine on your inhale. And on your exhale, round your back. Now stand up onto the pads of your toes. Walk your hands back towards your thighs. Make sure you can feel that your hips are over your knees rather than behind them. So first of all, you want to get your glutes to be right over the knees. Stand up onto the pads of your toes, even if you know that you can do a camel pose with your feet on the floor, with the tops of your feet down. Today, let's everybody do it this way, right? So I really want this to be more of a quad stretch than a back bend. Hands again at the lower back, just like we did standing at the beginning of our practice. The heels of your hands are on the top of the back of your pelvis, not up here on your ribs, all the way down. If your fingers aren't touching your glutes, if you can't pat your own butt, your hands aren't far enough down, all right? So taking an inhale here, draw the elbows in, lift the heart up, take an inhale. Exhale, move your thighs forward. Glutes, move pelvis forward. Elbows hug in, your spinal muscles, move your spine forward. Your chin juts up, your head is not dropping back, right? Your chin is reaching up, your crown is rooting into a wall that's maybe another inch further behind you. So we're reaching crown back, chin up. No compression in the cervical spine. Just strengthening our neck muscles. Take one more inhale. Breathe from your hips all the way up to your shoulders. One more exhale to move your thigh bones further forward. Inhale, come about halfway up back to your extended spine, rather than hyperextended. And now we're going to bring the hands back to the heels. Now, if this drops your hips way back, keep your hands here and do one hand at a time. All right, just one hand while the other hand is still on the pelvis. All right, so deep breath in, lift everything up. Exhale, move the pelvis forward. Bring the hands to your heels, but make sure you're not sitting back at all. Thigh bones forward, glutes push pelvis forward. Feel this again, from the hips to the shoulders as a stretch to the front of your body. On your exhale, feel this engagement in the entire back of your body. Take one final inhale here. Breathe into your quads. Breathe into those hip flexors. Breathe into the lower belly. One final exhale to hug your spine. And now instead of coming back up, we're going to sit back down slowly. And this time we're going to come onto the tops of the feet on purpose and sit onto our heels with our sit bones. All right, and again, if this bothers your knees, you can do the same one that we did a moment ago, or just skip it. Or if you do have a prop, this is really nice. It just takes a lot of tension off of the knees. You just slide your yoga block or a pillow underneath your hips. Take your knees a little lighter. And it feels so much better on my knees. So you might try that, okay? Shins are pushing down. They're not just placed on the ground, they're pushing down. When you push down, you get a natural rising. That's also going to stabilize your knees. Hands come back behind you. Take an inhale in this position, open the chest. Exhale again, push the shins down. Scoop the sit bones forward. Not so you're tucking your pelvis, but just so the sit bones are rooting a little more toward the front of that prop. And then you can decide if you want to stay here, because this is already a stretch for your quads. If you would like to go further, lift the hips all the way off the bolster. Same thing. Tomorrow your hamstrings will be so excited because they finally got to work out. We're going to feel it tomorrow. The hamstrings and glutes are active here. Take a huge inhale. Let the heart rise. Take one more exhale. Engage your glutes, engage your thighs. Move your thigh bones toward the front of your mat. And then release your hips back down. Good. Slide your hips over to one side. And take your legs out from underneath you. Good. This is fun. I love this one. I've been doing this one every day. All right, we're almost out of time now. Yep. So we're going to come down onto our back. Draw the knees in. I'm going to change the view for you again. Just rock side to side while I'm kind of renegotiating everything here. Good, and then once you are there, we're going to bring after rocking side to side a few times, I'm going to have you bring your feet flat to the mat. And once your feet are flat, take an inhale. And exhale one more time, one more back bend, lift those hips into a bridge pose. Now, if you're finding that you're just done with the back bend idea, then I would invite you to take sorry about this. I would invite you to take a fish pose instead, which is still a back bend and still a heart opener. And it can also be a hip flexor release. So if bridge feels good, stay in bridge, keep the glutes, hamstrings activated, thighs up. If you want to do fish instead, hands are going to come underneath your glutes. Straighten out your legs and push down through your heels. Push down to the elbows as well. And then if you want to, you can just engage your hamstrings a bit more here than you usually would. You could also lift your glutes off the floor here. Do whatever you would like to do, but do one more back bend or chest opener, heart opener, or again, hip flexor stretch. We're here for about 3 more breaths. Two more breaths. Take one final inhale here. And as you exhale, whatever back bend you were in, please come out of it and bring the knees in. If you do have a pillow, we're going to bring that pillow in between the knees now. Take your hands to your outer knees or outer shin area and really push your outer into the inner thighs are pushing into the pillow or the bolster or the block. Squeeze those inner thighs in. Beautiful, good. 2 more breaths here. Take one more inhale. If your legs are shaking, that means they're working. It's a good thing. And release. Keep the block or the bolster between your knees if you have it. And go ahead and draw both knees over to the left side. As your knees drop to the left, open your chest up toward the ceiling. Turn your head to look over your right shoulder. I'm not going to turn mine or you won't be able to hear me that well. But you're going to squeeze the bolster or the block or the pillow with your inner thighs. Draw your right sit bone toward your right knee. Engage lower belly, especially the right side of your lower belly, so that we're not pinching up our right hip flexor there. And if possible, bring your right ear even closer to the floor on the right side. Draw the left arm as far away from your left ear as possible. Feel the stretch increase on the left side of your neck. Squeeze the bolster or the pillow or the block. Draw the right sit bone toward the block or towards your right knee. Lengthen out the right side of your body even more. Take one final inhale here. And one more exhale to wring out. Good, bring the knees back up, chest faces the sky, your gaze is at the ceiling as well. Exhale, knees over to the right with the prop still between the thighs. Chest is opening toward the sky. Turn your head to look over your left shoulder. Draw the left shoulder away from your left ear. Reach your right arm as far away from your right ear as possible to increase the stretch from your right ear all the way down to the outside of your right shoulder there. Maybe even all the way down to your fingertips. Take an inhale here. Exhale, squeeze the bolster with your inner thighs. Draw the left sit bone toward the left knee. Increase the potential length between your left ribs and the back of the left side of the pelvis. Breathe into that potential length, right? Breathe into lower back left side, in other words. Exhale, ring out by drawing the left shoulder blade closer to the ground. Left ear closer to the floor. Squeeze the bolster. Draw the sit bones toward the bolster. Feel the lower abdomen engage, especially the left side of your lower belly now. One final exhale here to ring out one more time. And then bring the knees back up. Take your bolster out from between your thighs here. Take the soles of your feet together, somewhere close. They don't have to touch, but they're close together. And let your knees descend downward into Supta Baddha Konasana. Now finally getting those inner thighs to stretch again. We worked really hard today as well. So in Supta Baddha Konasana, check in with your knees. If your knees are hovering just way up above the floor, right? If they're way up here, slide the heels further forward until the knees can relax somewhat toward the ground. Your outer thighs are going to engage, and your outer glutes may even engage here. You may want to just lift one side of the pelvis up and then the other, just in case there's any pinching in the sacroiliac joints, and then just let your knees open up and relax even more. All right, Supta Baddha Konasana. And while you're here, I'm going to have you rub your hands together, palms together as quickly as possible. Once you can feel some heat being generated there, bring your right hand over your right eye, left palm over left eye. Pinky fingers are meeting at your forehead center. And while you are shutting out all external light, so make sure that the pinky edges of your hands are shut fairly tight around the bridge of the nose. So there's no external light coming in. Make sure your physical eyes are relaxed and make sure you're not pushing your palms into your eyes. You're cupping your palms over the eyelids. So once we have shut out this external light, we are also taking away the stimulus of light itself, which can be enervating sometimes, and certainly this is more relaxing, right? So whatever you are seeing with your eyes closed and with all external light shut out, it might be darkness, that's fine, but you might see some colors, some light, a starry sky. Who knows, right? Just focus on whatever it is that you are seeing. And then to even further calm our central nervous system, I'm going to invite you to take 3 more of the longest, deepest inhales into your belly. And I mean, really let your belly protrude. Okay, this is not the time to try to keep your abs strong. Your abs worked enough for you today. You will feel them tomorrow as well. Let your abs stretch now. So as you take these last 3 inhales, the belly distends on the inhale and then deflates comfortably on the exhale. Huge expansion across the front of the pelvis so that it feels like your hips are breathing and the hip bones are moving away from each other on the inhale. And on the exhale, let your exhale be fairly passive, but long still. Do 1 more like that. And after taking 3 of the longest, deepest breaths possible, let yourself move into final relaxation. You may want to stay in this pose if this feels really relaxing. You may want to move into Shavasana, regular old normal Shavasana, or you could spread out wide into more of a star position here. Close your eyes, take your arms down alongside your torso. And notice how you feel in your body now. I'm hoping you will feel quite a bit of freedom. Notice where there is not freedom. Notice where you feel some tension. And decide to let that tension go. Just give it to the ground. The ground is supporting you. You've earned this rest. And experiencing relaxation and freedom is just as important as experiencing all of the other work that we've just done. I'd like to end the practice today by reading a poem by Wendell Berry. This is The Peace of Wild Things. This is in honor of Earth Day yesterday and also in honor of freedom. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty, on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time I rest in the grace of the world, and I am free. For a time I rest in the grace of the world, and I am free. I'm hopeful that you have found a way to get outside and to find some water, to find the day-blind stars waiting with their light, to find the peace of wild things. But even if that's not the case, find that inner freedom. Rest in the grace of your own body and be free for just a few more moments of class. I invite you to rest here for as long as you would like. So while you're still in Shavasana or coming up to a seated position, please bring your hands to your heart either way. Acknowledge the wonderful work that you did today. Thanks so much for being here with me. It's always nice to see your names and some faces. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Namaste.
Namaste.